Hey guys, this is the most ordered cake at my lab, and today I want to show you the recipe that I use. Hi, I'm Robert, and today we're making Egyptian cake together, a combination between vanilla, caramelized walnuts, and cream that is very good and easy to make. We start a little unintuitively with the cream because the sponges, being very thin, cools down quite quickly, but the cream cools down harder, and so we start with it. I've made this cream many times on the channel. It is the vanilla pastry cream. I will leave you somewhere in a corner a link to the recipe that is more in depth, let's say. Now we'll just go quickly through it. In a pot, I put 225 grams of milk and we will start heating it. If I figure out how to start this. In a bowl, 6 egg yolks over which I put 100 grams of sugar and 20 grams of starch. And 1 vanilla essence, or some vanilla depending on which vanilla you use. We mix very well with a whisk, then put the hot milk slowly to temper the yolks. Bring the mixture back into the pot and on medium to high heat. Boil the cream until it thickens very much and it becomes very glossy. Stirring continuously so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pot. After it has boiled, while the cream is still warm, add 200 grams of butter, preferably cold butter, but if you don't have cold butter, do not add all the butter at once because it will melt too quickly and the cream will separate. Add it slowly and mix very well. The cream is done. I will remove it in a bowl, cover it with cling film in contact to avoid condensation and leave it in a cool place until it completely cools. The next step is to make the caramelized sugar that we will use in the second cream, and for this I put again in a pot 133 grams of sugar on low heat and I will melt it slowly, and when it's completely melted, I prepared here a silicone mat on which I'll pour it, or you can use some baking paper. For the cake we need 6 sponges with a diameter of 20 centimeters, and here we have two options. Either on the bottom of some of the 20 centimeter trays, the ones with spring, put baking paper and bake each sponge individually, or bake some larger sheets of sponge and cut out of those sheets 20 centimeter sponges, and this is how I will do it. It's not hard at all, so let's start. I have here two halves of a tray. This was a big tray that I cut. I cut it in half and it was one tray of 60 by 40 centimeters, so from it I can cut exactly 6 sponges with a diameter of 20 centimeters. So I will bake 2 sheets of this 40 by 30 centimeters, after which I cut the sponges from them. Quite easy, right? I will give you the recipe for all quantities for this size of 60 by 40 centimeters, but in the description of the video under the like button. Wink. You can find the link to the written recipe on my website, and there you also have the quantities for the 20 centimeter sponges. And you also have the recipe calculator that helps you to calculate quantities for any size of sponge you want to bake. It's a very handy thing to have. Okay, where am I going to put this? So for my sheets of 40 by 30 centimeters, 2 sheets, I put it in the bowl of the stand mixer, 412 grams of egg whites, and I start to foam it. When it starts to foam, we will slowly add 187 grams of sugar, until I get a firm and glossy meringue. I have a nice stable and glossy meringue, on top of which I add 38 grams of flour and 187 grams of ground walnuts, which I have mixed, and I mix gently to homogenize. I'll put about half of the quantity of butter in each tray. I will level it and put it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 165 degrees with a fan or 180 degrees without a fan. But if you bake without a fan, don't put more than one pan at a time. Do the two sponges separate, or if you have the 20 centimeter ones, however many you can fit on one level of the oven. The sponges have baked, cooled, and I cut them out and made 6 sponges of 20 centimeters. And of course, at least 2 of them will be from pieces. But it's okay, we put them in the middle and you will see that you won't even notice. The caramelized sugar has cooled and it has hardened, and I put it in a food processor. I will use the caramelized sugar and 105 grams of walnuts that I roasted in the oven for about 10 minutes at 150 degrees to make it more tasty. This is the granulation I like to get. And I add this mixture of sugar and walnuts over 200 grams of whipped cream that I have foamed hard enough to give the cream a fairly solid consistency, and I mix it. The vanilla pastry cream has cooled, so I start to fill the cake. And I use about 120 grams of vanilla cream and about 85 grams of cream with walnut and caramelized sugar on each layer. I start with the vanilla cream because it's thicker, then I put the cream with caramelized sugar, then I come with the next layer of sponge. Again, vanilla cream, sugar and walnut cream, and so on. I fill the cake and of course, it must be put in the fridge. At least 6 hours I would say. So all the creams harden. The flavors mix inside the cake and we can start decorating it. So we put it in the fridge and come back with the decoration. The cake has been in the fridge overnight and has hardened, and now all we have to do is to decorate it. And because it's a fairly sweet cake, because of the caramelized sugar, but the vanilla cream is also quite sweet, I will decorate it with 250 grams of whipped cream in which I did not add any sugar or anything else. I used most of the amount of cream on top because I will cover the edge with ground walnut and it will not be seen, so don't stress too much about it. And on top I will make a simple spiral pattern using this type of spoon, this sharper type. This was the recipe for the Egyptian cake. I hope you like it. Don't forget that you can support me on Patreon or even here on YouTube by joining the channel, and the donations start from €1 per month. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you as usual next time. Bye bye!